Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna do a September and October wrap up. And I read 9 books in September and 4 books in October, so 13 books to talk about today. The first book I read in September was The Diviners by Libba Bray, which is a paranormal or urban fantasy book that I gave 5 stars. And it's about Evie, who moves to New York, and she has a power that she can, if she holds an object, she can see like visions of what's happened with that object and people's secrets and stuff like that. And there's a killer loose in New York, it's a serial killer who kills a lot of people, and Evie gets wrapped up in that investigation because her uncle is helping the police. And yeah, it has the ghosts in it. I love the atmosphere and the setting of 1920s New York. And the characters, there's a lot of different perspectives in the book. Yeah. And then I read The Son of Neptune by Rick Riordan, which is the second book in the Heroes of Olympus series, which is the series that comes after Percy Jackson. And that's also urban fantasy. And it's about demigods. So they are children to gods and humans. And I gave it 4 stars. I had a little bit of trouble remembering what happened in the first book, The Lost Hero. But I really love all the mythology in Rick Riordan's books and his characters, and there's always like an adventure in it, and that's really nice. But yeah, I didn't like it as much as the Percy Jackson series, but I feel like the Heroes of Olympus series will get better and better as the books go on. And then I read Down Among the Sticks and Bones by Shauna Maguire, which is the second book in the Wayward Children series. The first book is Every Heart a Doorway, and they are portal fantasy books. And I gave Down Among the Sticks and Bones 5 stars. It's about Jack and Jill, who are twins, and they find a mysterious door in their house, and they go through it, and then they go to another world, and the world is very spooky, and it reminds me of like a mix of Frankenstein and Dracula. It was really good. I love the characters, and it was really intriguing, and there's a cute romance in it between 2 girls. Then I read Chrono Feathers by Nikki Pau-Preto, and I listened to it as an audiobook. It's about Phoenix Riders, and they have been a lot of them have been murdered, and there's been a war. There's a girl who really wants to find them because she's an animage, and she can talk to animals and ride phoenixes and stuff. Talk to phoenixes. because you have to have that power to follow the soldier who doesn't want to be a soldier, and he's also an animage, but he's hiding it. And yeah, I gave it 4 stars. After that, I read Truly Madly Guilty by Leanne Moriarty, which is an adult contemporary. I was kind of stupid. I thought it was a thriller or a mystery. I thought that someone would die, but no one did. So I was like really confused and bored, and I didn't care about any of the characters, and I feel like one thing happened in like a 400-page book. So yeah, and it's about a few neighbors who are they're at like a dinner at one of the neighbors, and then something bad happens, and the book is just figuring out what happened, and they're quite boring lives. I don't know, I hated it. Gave it 2 stars. I don't know why I thought it was a thriller, but I like Leanne Moriarty's other book, Big Little Lies. I feel like this sounds like it's gonna be a thriller, but apparently not. Then I read The Blue Geranium by Agatha Christie, which is a mystery. It's a woman that gets murdered, and it's very short. So yeah, I gave it 3 stars, and that was the first book I read for the Contemporary-thon, even though it didn't really. I cheated a little bit because it's old, but wasn't any fantastical elements in it, so I just read it because I had it, and it completed 3 of the challenges. Then I read A Very Large Expanse of Sea by Tara Maffey. And I have talked about all these, the 4 last books that I read in September in my Contemporary-thon vlog. So yeah, if you want to know which challenges they go for and stuff, watch my vlog. This is Tara Maffey's first contemporary book. It's a YA contemporary, and I gave it 4.5 stars. It's about a girl who is a Muslim, and she wears a hijab, and she has been moving a lot because her parents want them to get like better and better houses and situations and stuff. And then in her new school, she falls in love with a boy, but she gets bullied because she wears a hijab, and yeah, it's really frustrating that people are this mean to other people. Like, I don't get it. I liked it, but I didn't love it. Or like, I don't know. I knocked off a half a star because the main character was a little bit annoying, because she wouldn't believe that the guy liked her, even though he made it very clear that he did like her. She starts breakdancing too with her brother and his friends. That's a nice touch. Now that I think back on it, I feel like I should have given it a 4 stars, not a 4.5 stars, because. But yeah. Then I read With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. I read it on audiobook and I gave it 5 stars. It's about Imani, and she had a child when she was 16, I think, and she's trying to balance being a mother, going to high school, and working at her job. And the book is a lot about family and your dreams, because she has a dream that she wants to be a chef. So she starts in a culinary arts class, and yeah, it was really, really great. I loved Imani and all of the characters, like her grandma that she lives with, is really a nice character, and the guy she's dating is really nice, and her teacher is really nice, and they have planned to go to Spain with the culinary arts class, and yeah, the author Elizabeth Acevedo narrates the audiobook, and it was a great audiobook. And yeah, it's a YA contemporary. Really inspiring to see how hard she fought for what she wanted. Like with going to Spain, and she organized the fundraiser and stuff. So yeah, she was a really inspiring character that she managed to juggle so much. Yeah, and then the last book I read in September was Eliza and Monsters by Francesca Sapia, which I gave 4 stars. It's a YA contemporary, and that was the last book I read for the contemporary-thon. Some mixed media, because you can see some of the pages that Eliza draws, because she has a webcomic, and it's about her, and that she's very lonely. One of the biggest people who do fan art for her webcomic starts at her school, and they become friends, and then more than friends, and it was a sweet story. And she has panic attacks, so that was cool to see in a book. And yeah, I didn't give it 5 stars because I didn't connect to it like a 5-star book, I guess. And then let's move over to my October wrap up. The first book I read in October was Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston, which is a new adult romance, I guess, because they're college age. I gave it 5 stars. It was so adorable. The romance was so great, so cute. It's enemies to lovers between the Prince of Wales and the son of the first female president of the United States. At first, they are in like a rivalry, but then they are forced to hang out, and then they fall for each other, and it's so adorable, and it's also about politics, and you get to see their friends are really cool too. All the characters are great. The writing was excellent. There's some emails and text messages in it, which was a nice touch. And it's very romantic. It's very sexy, but it's mostly cute. And it's very funny. Like the banter between Alex and Henry. I loved it. It was, it's one of my new favorite romance books. Then I read a novella, or like an essay. Yeah, a very short essay called Notes on Nationalism by George Orwell. I bought it because I liked the color of it, and it was like a new book series thing that Penguin did with like short books, and I don't know why really I shouldn't have bought it, because I'm not interested in like non-fiction or nationalism. So I was very bored when I read it. I gave it 2 stars. Shouldn't have read it, shouldn't have bought it. It was not for me. Like, it wasn't anything wrong with it. I just thought it was boring, and I don't know why I picked it up, really. Because I'm not interested in the subject. So, yeah. Then I read Lair of Dreams by Libba Bray, which is the sequel to The Diviners that I read in September. And it's, a paranormal urban fantasy. I gave it 4.5 stars because I don't think it was as good and interesting and action-packed as the first one. This was more slow than the first one, and it's about sleeping curse, kind of a sleeping disease that's making people fall asleep and they can't be woken up. And I still love the characters and the atmosphere and the setting of 1920s New York and the writing and everything, but it was very slow, and I feel like, it should have had more plot, like more things needed to happen in that long book, I feel like. So, but because I love the characters and everything else so much, I give it 4.5 stars. But because of the pacing, I bumped it down a half star. And then I read Middlegame by Shauna Maguire, which is an adult urban fantasy book. I gave it 5 stars. It's one of my new all-time favorite books. It's about Roger and Dodger. They are twins, and they were created in a lab, but they don't know it at the beginning. And there's this guy that created them. His name is Reed, and he wants 3 of them to become gods, basically. And it's very hard to describe, but Roger is good with language and words, and Dodger is very good with numbers and math. And yeah, they're separated at birth, and they get adopted by some people, different people. And love this so much. I would give it 10 stars if I could. It was so great, and it was so smart, and it was very action-packed, kinda. And like, yeah, a lot of things happen, and you get to know, as you go through the book, you get to know more and more stuff about what's happening and about them. And I really wanted there to be a second book, but right now it's just a standalone on Goodreads. It doesn't say that it's a part of a series, so love the characters. It's very brutal, it's very bloody, dark, so it was perfect for October. Yeah, I just love it a lot. So that was the last book that I had to talk about. And thank you for watching, and comment your favorite book from October or September. My favorite book of October was Middlegame, and my favorite book of September was The Diviners by Libba Bray. So yeah, thanks for watching. See you later. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you in my next video.